But that being said, we're getting into the next cast for me. We got the CPL week 5. We're gonna start casting week 5 now soon. We got Goon Squad and BAS, and we got some tier 2 games. I know there was one walkover series. We got 3 series heading your way, and we're gonna get right into it. This is the first match. I believe it's Least versus Hard Rain. That's like an N name. Oh. Yep. See, look at all those names. Hard Rain. You have Mr. Million Ends in the top right with the red Protoss. You got Least the bottom left with the teal Protoss. Protoss versus Protoss. That's good. I like Protoss versus Protoss. I think it's a fun matchup. So, gonna go into this one. This is a cross game. Inverted ramps on a cross game. Definitely gonna make you want to do something a little aggressive. You also got all these little paths to walk through. They got the short distance there. There's some walk around paths. Lots of spots to try for proxies. Lots of spots to hide things, or even just for your arms to walk around each other. And you know that could always just be hilarious. So we'll see what these players do. No one going for a very immediate kind of proxy pylon or anything. Nothing unusual yet. So. You don't never see anything crazy different unless they go for a proxy early. It still has to build that first pylon. You get the first gateway at 10, then just the gas afterwards, cybercore. Well, you don't have to immediately go for a gas in the cybercore. One of the things you can do is just get zealots and try to expand. You delay your tech, you delay your Dragoon production, but you try to make up for it with a big army. And because you have zealots, like especially the worse your opponent is, like microing against zealots can be difficult. So that's a style some people like to do. You'll see that if they see 2 gateways early instead of the cybercore, they're just going to do some zealot production and try to get that early expand up. Don't see anyone do anything like that yet. The big key is going to be if they go for no gas early. We do see Hard Rain still hasn't started a gateway yet. We do see from Least that he has started their gas, so he's doing a pretty normal kind of opener, but I think Hard Rain is going to go Nexus first. This could definitely be an interesting kind of opener. If your opponent doesn't punish it, it puts you in a really good spot, because you get through that growing pain of trying to get the expansion up where you just don't have the money to make enough units. But it is a 2-player map. It's not like this isn't going to get scouted. You can even see at least being really careful. Scouted up by one of the common proxy locations before scouting the opponent. And he's going to walk through and see that Nexus. I'm curious to see what his response will be, because he hasn't committed to any kind of tech yet. Like, you're still going to get all his gas and stuff, and he's still going to get that cybercore pretty early. As you can see, we got a pylon away instead of a cybercore. Banking gas but delaying tech. That's interesting choice. Maybe getting thrown off by seeing the Nexus, trying to figure out how he wants to respond. You can see from Hard Rain that he's getting gateway up. But like I said, unit production is going to be slowed down. He's going to delay his tech. And he's just going 2 gateways. He's going to make a bunch of zealots for defense. To just really try to get that expansion up and running. You do see that cybercore finally getting started from. He's definitely late though. This is like significantly late for a cybercore. You usually want to be doing your gas and then your core. The core's on 14, and then the pylon after. You don't have to slow down any kind of unit production to do this, especially since he isn't getting that early zealot. This just seems unoptimized. I'm curious to see why he did that choice. Might have gotten thrown off by the Nexus, or, you know, first game of the night, maybe you didn't warm up, just forget little things. Everyone does that kind of stuff. So we see that Nexus just about to finish in Hard Rain. He's going to be starting that big zealot production to help defend it. And we don't see anything super mealy from Least. One of the big things we could possibly do though, one of the common openers being that you get that robotics early. You want observers anyway, but getting Reavers is really good. If they go mainly Zealots, Reavers are super good against Zealots, and there's no way to actually stop the shuttle. And one of the things you might do with this kind of style is, if you go Zealots, then you go Cannons, because you need to defend against like something like a Dark Templar. And if you go Cannons early, Reavers outrange the Cannons, going to do something about it. Now we see from East, he is trying to do some kind of punish with a Robotics and a Gateway. Now this is definitely interesting because he didn't chase out this probe. So if Hard Rain takes a look, he's going to see no range being researched, nothing being done. Gas has been mining, but he isn't using any of it yet. That should signal he should be scouting for proxy. And with these couple zealots, if he finds this proxy, there's no way to defend this. I don't really like the choice to do this kind of super aggressive proxy like this, because he sees the couple zealots. And even now, you see from hard range, he's just going to push across the map with the zealots, see what his opponent has made. Having some goons is definitely going to help defend this, but like, there's just not going to be units at home. And if he sees that with the probe especially, that's either going to send a reflex to be defensive, or it's going to say, oh, I can kill all your probes because you'll never have the units to stop me. Now we'll have to see what is coming up from here. We do have the robotic support bay. Another optimization, what you would want to do is start the shuttle. And then start this, because this takes less time than the shuttle to build. So that gets you you start the shuttle, then start the support bay while the shuttle is building. And then they both finish at the same time. You can start the Reaver right away. Gets you that faster drop, which you might need Reavers to defend this, depends on what hard rain wants to do. He sees nothing here. Like, red flag's gotta be going up. You can see he's gonna start doing some pretty significant probe damage. He's finally getting a couple goons up, but without range. I wonder if hard rain notices that the range isn't actually being researched, or that the goons still have it. Like right here, they're not firing. So that's definitely a bad opportunity, because it's getting a lot of probe damage done. And you can see he's starting to get these cannons up. The Reavers will be able to get around this, but it's definitely going to slow things down, depending on how careful he is. Other than that, we just see a couple more gateways being added on, really making use of that 2 base economy. But with Least taking this much probe damage, he's going to need a miracle Reaver to actually get this done. Got Dragoons on the way, and there's the Reaver with no shuttle, looking like he just wants to slow push this from this proxy. I don't think that's a great idea, because get caught out. Like, if the Zealots ever found this, which at this point hard rain has seen nothing in Least base, and they're both tier 2 players. You can't just say, oh, he's got nothing. Here comes the Zealot to find out with this proxy. So you might be able to punish that with enough Zealots. But the Reaver about to finish, if this got scouted earlier, would have done a lot more. But now that there's been a little production, we'll see if hard rain can actually hold this off. Zealot's not going to get much done. You see there is a couple cans up the front, and it's starting to get a can here, so you can't get that drop. But this is also what hard rain assuming, what I was assuming, getting the shuttle then the Reaver. We just got at least going proxy Reaver. Gonna slow crawl them, which will take forever, honestly. Like, they do not move fast. They'll definitely have full ammo by the time they get there, but they do not move quickly. And you can see, even hard rain still can control the map a little bit, putting a proxy off to the side. Maybe for proxy tech later on, or proxy gateway. Might just be the spot if that base gets taken, something like that. Putting pylons around the map is actually a really good idea in this matchup to help with shuttle movement. But at least isn't getting shuttles. Just gonna plan to do some big bust up here at the front. Now, considering the damage he took back at home, you see this is not saturated. He has to do significant damage. Against 2 base economy, he doesn't even have 12 pros mine. So basically, this has to kill, or this game is going to be over very, very quickly. Now, the concern I have is, you can see, with the amount of time hard rain bought with that attack, and with this now significant gateway production, he's going to have a lot of Dragoon. And without shuttles to micro these Reavers, it's just going to be like killing siege tanks, I think. So there's no way to actually defend these. We'll see if they can do enough. These cannons are going to slow things down, which will give the Goons a chance to get in position to punish these Reavers. And you see the Reavers just walking forward. Ignore the other Goons. They gotta kill the Reavers. They can kill the Reavers, they can hold off, but at least starting to get some damage done. These 2 Reavers will do very good damage to your Goons if hard rain isn't careful. And he doesn't go forward. He gets one of the 2 Reavers, the other one's at about half health. Now, it looks like the numbers are dwindling, but remember how many gateways hard rain has. He's going to be able to reinforce this very, very quickly. And with at least not keeping his Dragoon production up to match this, I don't think this one Reaver with no micro ability is going to be able to do it. Especially since he has to actually kill. He can't just settle for a little damage at this front base. He's too far behind economically. And you can see hard rain completely holds that off. I don't think there's going to be much option for at least after this. And he realized that and just taps out. Not a bad idea to try for this proxy robo kind of play. I think you just, a lot of things being not ordered as well as they could be. File stack or feedback. Not sure if it's... I'll have to watch the VOD and see if it's better than it used to be or what I gotta do. But this is, I tried all the settings I could switch. At this point I might just need to get a better audio card or something. This is sexy Overlord. The only good thing about Zerg, the Overlords are cool. I can't wait to play with the Carbot skins. Those are going to be adorable. The Overlords and that especially, I'm going to start playing Zerg on the side again. Just because they're so freaking cute. Alright, so we're getting back into this with game number 2. Hard Rain and Least. Least needs to just optimize that build order at the beginning a bit. Definitely missing some timings on things for... I mean, it happens. We don't know what the reason is. Not important. This time, we got Least still in the teal Protoss. Makes it easy for me to remember which one's which. Hard Rain switching to white instead of red. Getting a good color. Like white on Protoss makes it snazzy, especially the Reavers. We'll see what these players want to do. It looks like this time we're on Fighting Spirit. So, we got plenty of good proxy locations in the middle of the map, so doing proxy 9-9 gates is actually pretty aggressive here and can get a lot of stuff done. You do have that one regular ramp to defend, so like going for that early expansion is not quite going to be the same as something like a cross game, where you like really should value holding your natural, because if you get contained on your ramp on cross game, it's really hard to break. It's not quite as imperative here. You can wait for the Reavers and break your way down. So I don't expect to see a Nexus first, but the one thing I've noticed about CPL, if I play against someone that plays Protoss versus Protoss and they Nexus first, they tend to do it like all the time. Because they're just playing that numbers game. It's like, I'll lose a game every now and then to like a hard build order, but if anyone's doing a normal build, I'm probably going to get with a Nexus first, especially on something like a Fighting Spirit, where there's a good chance you don't get scouted fast enough to really be able to adjust your build for it. Either playing going for that Nexus first this time, both players getting their gateway on time, on 10. That's the next thing we're going to see. Does either take that early gas, or is someone going to go for some kind of Zealot expand? Just some big Zealot pressure. See both players scouting out. Least is going to get the better of the deal, scouting his opponent first. Neither player really checking for any proxies though, so trusting that after the cheese, the blatant, ridiculous cheese from Least, that they're going to play a little more straight up this time. And we do see from Hard Rain going with this double gateway no gas, so going to be getting a bunch of zealots and either putting out a ton of pressure or building. You can build up like 5 zealots and then take your Nexus, then get cannons behind it to defend. And that's just hard to break before you have enough goons, before you have range, before you have Reavers. So that's a good way to try to secure this. You're trying to get the natural expansion up at the cost of your tech. We do see from Least that he got his gas, but not filling the guys up on the gas immediately is definitely going to be a problem, because you'll finish your Cyber Core and you'll want to start your Dragoon production, but you won't be able to afford a range for a while. Still not fixing the 9 guys in gas. Least going to definitely feel this one very shortly if he doesn't notice soon. Does try to have the Zealot at the ramp. There is a hole position spot where it makes it very difficult for a probe to get through, but didn't get that off. So Hard Rain getting that full vision, but nothing weird at the moment. He's still just a gate, a core, all the stuff you're used to seeing. Now, what we see from Hard Rain is that he did get these 2 gateways, but is getting a similar now and getting the delayed core. So it looks like he wanted to just put some Zealot pressure on, and then he's going to be going into probably 2 gate Dragoon. Definitely an interesting build. I'm not sure if that's something you really want to be doing. I feel like you could not delay the Cyber Core, get your Dragoon production up, and just keep producing Zealots, like, because neither gateway is building anything right now. Just do constant out of 1 gate if you're going to do something like this. Because, like, he's going to get here, he's not going to be able to get up this ramp. If these block this and 1 Dragoon's back there, these Zealots do nothing. You just delayed your tech by a lot. You see Least slightly upgrading his gas count. 50% better, but still not quite efficient. And we see Hard Rain trying to poke at the ramp, not going to be able to get anything done, just walks away. Now this probe's still walking around, seeing all the stuff he needs to see, seeing that 2nd gateway on the way. Doesn't see the range yet started, so that might be giving me a couple red flags for something like this. Like, that actually could have been a little tricky if he killed the probe before starting it. Like, that's a little subtle thing that if your opponent doesn't notice. because what some players do, they don't get that range, so they can spend that gas on a Citadel, on a faster robotics, really going for more power or attack instead of getting that utility range. Hard Rain taking that expansion now, realizing Least is being very defensive and not going to be a push out anytime soon. Especially when you see the no range, he saw the gateway count, and if he was paying attention, he saw the amount of gas being mined for quite a while. Doesn't have anything terrible to be worried about, so this Nexus should be able to go up without too much trouble. See the range on the way for Hard Rain, so even despite having the delayed core from the opening he had with the 2 gateways, the ranges aren't going to be too far apart, except Hard Rain going to be getting that big advantage of getting this expansion up. It's hard to get the expansion up, but if he gets it up, it's going to make for such a stronger mid game to be able to support like 4, 5 gateway, get the robotics, actually get his tech up. And you see right now he's got 2 gateways, not constant production, but I mean things are expensive still. But he's going to be able to get the robotics, get that observer, get reavers for defense for this. That way he doesn't have to go into a forge and cannons, which can't be used to attack. At least starting to build up a nice sizable army count, with the range about to finish and having 3 goons in production. Looking like he's just going to take his 3 gateways and really try to bust this down. This is a very dangerous kind of build, because you can support 3 gateways of Dragoon production pretty easily. One goon being super dumb and deciding he doesn't want to go to war. But this is going to be a very dangerous army and going to be able to reinforce it pretty quickly. He's actually moved out and get to it though. This is the kind of thing though, if you just go 3 gateways, just push forward, especially since he's skipping robotics and skipping detection, he can definitely have the units to break this and punish this expansion. Then he's going to be feeling like in a really good spot. And we see Least moving forward, losing a unit for free because he was on a move command instead of attack move, which is probably good. He wouldn't be hitting that violence, but gets into the fight, has a very significant army advantage, and you see the pros immediately getting pulled trying to defend this. If he has a good Dragoon micro, he's going to be able to clean this up very good and force the Hard Rain back up into his main at the very least to be able to take out this Nexus. A couple Zealots here are going to do good DPS, but you can see they're just getting picked off by these ranged Dragoons. Dragoon Rage is such an important upgrade in this matchup. And you see there's a pretty significant number advantage for the Dragoons. One of the keys being that if you have 5 Dragoons, and they can 2-shot other Dragoons, so when you only have 3 left, you can't kill the Dragoons in 2 hits, you need 3 rounds. You can start losing Dragoons very, very quickly. And with these 3 gateways, you can see he's going to be able to reinforce this much faster than Hard Rain's going to be able to defend it. Doesn't even have a reburn production or anything to help defend this, so he's looking like he's going to at the very least sacrifice the Nexus. That's going to give Least status on now. Just came back now. At least that server. Okay. Alright. So, that's unfortunate. I heard an error right near the end of that. Where did you guys start losing your, like, the frames and everything for this? So, like, that's always one of the concerns I have about this. I mean, I have good internet, but it is Wi-Fi. I have, like, someone attacked. When Least attacked. Okay, so, alright, well, we can go back and watch that a bit again. Unfortunate, but we're going to go back in time. We're going to see that attack because it was a nice attack by Least. So we'll have to see how that goes. Won't take too much longer. You can saw most of it getting choppy. I think maybe there's something going on with the I think something was just going on with my internet and then it started dropping frames or something, because then it also had to reconnect. So if it happens again, let me know and I'll try to keep an eye on it. So, but we see Least was getting to the front of this, having very superior Dragoon numbers, and is going to be able to push his opponent back. He's going to have enough unit count to get some good damage done here. We'll have to see where it goes from there. I don't know exactly where you guys cut off. I thought I was doing a good job commentary, but no one will ever know. But that's okay. You know, we're trying our best here. It's not a professional production. As if that wasn't blatantly obvious enough by my 4:3 monitor. No, we are trying our best here. We do have the Dragoons attacking the Nexus. That's where you guys were saying we left off. We do have sending a bunch of Dragoons in to keep reinforcing it. He's going to make these a lot faster than Hard Rain's going to be able to defend it, because he says one more gateway, and we got just the shuttle on the way. Reaver, not like the support bay is being worked on, but no chance he's actually going to get the Reaver on time. In this kind of situation, you probably would have gotten the support base soon. Skip the Reaver, or skip the shuttle, keep the Reaver back away from the ramp, and just fire down. And that way you can at least hold this, even though you're going to be in a very bad spot. But at least definitely just has the Dragoon numbers to walk his crap right up the ramp and close this one out. So, didn't miss a whole lot, but it's awkward. Makes it an awkward situation. You can only put one on gas if you scout 2 gate, by the way. Probably. Yeah, because you should be getting, if you scout 2 gate and you think, I thought that was for proxies though. Because if you scout 2 gate proxy, you need to match with your own level of zealots. And then you can slowly build the gas up and eventually get Dragoon production on. So. Alright. We are restarting my brood work because I lost the connection to the server there. So, in the meantime, while we do that, how's everyone doing tonight? 4th of July, tomorrow, if you're in America. If you're not in America, it's probably a Thursday. You know, it's going to be a nice day. Hopefully the weather's good on my end. I'm trying to go out to the... Me and my girl are going to go kayaking. We're going to go hang out at the beach, see fireworks, travel for some nice food. It's going to be a very nice weekend where I will not be in front of a computer. Not that I don't love my computer, but you know, being outside is nice too. Alright, so gonna get back out. And make sure you guys don't see my login screen. Can't see what my ladder record is. You guys are never gonna know. Okay. Alright, so we're back in game. We're gonna be starting game 3. Now, I'm gonna throw this out there with the CPL map format that it's, you know, had that rotation, set maps, you know, so that way you know what to practice. It's not loser picks or out of the pool or any kind of weird stuff like that. But you know what would have been cool? Like if each week had one standard map. Like this is like, I wish I played this week. This week would have been the most standard stuff ever. Cross game into fight experience, a circuit breaker. Man, like I every time I play, it's like there's freaking. Oh, I got the server connection lost. Alright, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Let me know if we're dropping frames. If this stream goes down, yell at me and be aggressive so I know. But yeah, I'm jealous of this map pool, and that means the games we're gonna watch there are gonna be super fun because they're gonna be on standard maps, not things like Whiteout and other weird ass maps. But we got Least. Got him in the teal again, somehow managing to get teal every game. I want to know his secrets. We got Hard Rain in the yellow over in the corner. This map, I like being aggressive on this map. I mean, I don't think proxies are nearly as good of an option because there's unbuildable areas, and it's not like Fighting Spirit where you can hide it like in the middle in that little like, center expansion. But especially like if you get this kind of distance, this is a pretty short rust just going this way. And so if you can really push into there, like if you can get on the other side of the bridges, you can be pretty aggressive. And there's so much room in the main that makes Reaver drops pretty easy to get off. But need to play doing anything weird yet. Just starting off with that normal 10 gateway. Both of them getting a normal gas timing too. No weird doubles gateway early zealot stuff. People were just doing the standard kind of opening. 8 pylon, 10 gateway, 12 gas, probably a 14 cybernetics core. This can go into anything you want. It's not going to be all zealots because you wouldn't need the gas or anything, but it's going to get you dragoons, it's going to get you upgrades. You can go reavers, you can go DTs, you can go whatever you little heart desires. Trick is to be outranked by 200 MR. You get to pick your colors. Seems like a good trick. So I gotta start sandbagging, or I gotta get good. Now we see already a difference in the builds. Hard Rain going for that early second gateway. Gonna be really putting pressure on with the Goons. Meanwhile, we got Least. He's getting that early Zealot. That's good against if it was some kind of proxy play. And I mean, one Zealot is not gonna be so bad early. Getting to 2 Dragoons or 2 gateways so quickly after the Cybernetics core, like I don't think he's gonna be able to really. If he does a lot of unit production, he can't get the Robo quite as fast with how fast the gateways were. Least has another delayed Cybernetics core, so I'm curious what these build orders are from Least that he's making things in a weird way like this. Or did he do it on a more normal timing and then Hard Rain just did extra early? I think Hard Rain's timing was normal. We got Least in chat. He can defend himself. I can address that after the game. But doesn't seem like anything crazy is going to happen super early. Not like this early Nexus stuff that's like if it gets up or anything like that. Hard Rain doing a good job really scouting around. Least with lots of gas, finally starts his range. Definitely later than he wanted though. He went for 2 Zealots before getting any Dragoons, so he's not going to be able to stop this probe right away. I usually just like get into 1 Zealot while you're waiting for the Dragoon production to kick in to just really start kicking in. Got the Least scouting also up here, hiding behind the scoreboard. The Dragoons trying to sniff him out and get him out of the base. The one thing you can notice from Hard Rain, if you're paying attention, did not start researching range yet, so wants to save his gas for something else. And the moment the probe dies, this guy going DT. That's always one thing. You can actually really fake out people with that kind of stuff though, is that you just start the range upgrade and cancel it. You need the gas to really get the Citadel up early or keep your production up, whatever you want to do. But we do just see Hard Rain. He's going to put pressure on with Goon. He's going to follow it up with DT to follow it up. He's going to force his opponent to get a robotics, but hey, look at that, it's right there. And he even has this robotics super close to the ramp, so that way if he has to do some kind of big defense, he can just make a Reaver straight up and it's in position to defend. I don't know if it should be a little further back or if that's good, but it looks like at least his positioning like he wants to take an early expansion. But we'll have to see what is going to happen from his robotics. Is he going to rush into an observatory, or is he going to rush for Reaver to really put the pressure on? I think almost exclusively, especially if you didn't get a good scout, you should be going for the observatory first, because you just never know when you're going to see players like this. And when we see that Forge coming from this DT build, we know he wants to get DTs. He's forcing his opponent to have detection. He's going to try to contain him into his base so he can't move out, and he's going to expand immediately. And use the Forges to protect his expansion against DTs himself, because he's too far away for robotics and observatories. So we got the observatory and we got the support bay on the way. Shuttle being produced, so you have to make the choice. Does he want to get the observer before the Reaver or after the Reaver? With the Temple Archives just being finished, DTs are going to be on the way. I think, yeah, he's going to get that observer a second. Because he doesn't know what's going on. He's being extra safe, and that's a good. I see from Hard Rain really cutting his build close. Still has no chance to get the range because of how much DT costs to invest in for gas. He already has a probe down here. He's really getting ready. Now, I don't know if he really should have been going for the photon cannon this quickly. If you poke up the ramp and see this many Dragoons, you know it's not DTs. Because, like, he can poke up and he can see this robotics. Like, he's going to take a little bit of damage, but you just send one thing up, you can really get the good idea about it. So we'll have to see. And then we got the Observer on the way. Hard Rain taking a poke. Sees the same amount of Dragoon he has, plus a couple Zealots. So he knows it's been at least 2 gateways of production, and it's been producing more often than his. The unit's starting to move out, and we got the DTs going here. Now, he could have seen the Observer moving with the Ripple if he was really paying attention, but he's not sure. So we'll have to see what happens to him. They cross the bridge. See if he pulls back in time so they don't lose him. Loses one. He's going to lose one soon. Doesn't lose the other one, so at least we'll have to keep his army back, or at least some of it back to defense. And then deciding when he's going to push across. With this many Dragoons, it's starting to get these cans up. Until he has a Reaver, it's going to be hard to break. So this is the kind of spot is that maybe you just want to take your own expansion. It looks like with the probe there and him banking him, having that thought. Got the Reaver, so he can start putting pressure on and really seeing what's going on. I'll just see where he wants to go with that. Now, if you know it's DTs, and it's like especially fast DTs like that, he had the delay range. You saw how many Dragoons he had when you pushed out. So it's not like he's got a lot of stuff. I would actually be trying to harass at this Reaver, because what is he really going to have to defend it? So, but you see Least deciding, no, I'm just going to go across the map and see if I can really put in the hurt down. Don't know if he knows about this yet, but he's going to find out very soon. And we're going to see where are the Dragoons. He's got most of them chilling back in the main, expecting the drop, but Least deciding he's going to go straight for the attack instead, see how he wants to move the army to really get that to work. And even that DT being pulled back, I would actually like to see that still trying to be aggressive, forcing an observer at home, forcing it. But if there's only a couple units, he's not going to lose. But it keeps the pressure on, rather than having this little flank from the side. So he's trying to break this in. Reavers are going to break cannons super bad, especially in this kind of situation. All the cannons going down. Now we have a Dragoon advantage for Least as well, plus a Reaver. Now we do have the Storm, but Storm's almost about to be done. He's going to have energy for it. But that's not going to be enough to clean this up. It's going to weaken things, but he still needs actual units to really break this off. He's eating a good Storm. These Dragoons getting significantly weakened, but got the shuttle. No Reaver in it though, so needs to back out. If he didn't lose the Reaver, he definitely could have really been aggressive here. But you do see he's got these Dragoons moving across. Not keeping anything at defense, that's why I would love to see that DT still out there. He hasn't killed both, so he has to really keep an eye on that. And we see Least really just going to keep trying to attack forward. Has a significant unit count lead, so he can definitely get something done. And even if he starts building, like he's just getting gateways online now, but they haven't really kicked in yet. So Least is going to have a big advantage moving into this. But he's not building any Reavers to back it up. He's going pure Dragoons, and he got surrounded by probes and zealots. So these Dragoons are going to take a lot, and then Hard Rain's production will kick in to defend this. So Least needs to have that next step. He does get the Nexus online, and he's starting to saturate it with probes. So I think just knowing when you're not going to get too much more done, and knowing when to back off, because if he keeps losing too many goons, he hasn't added on the production just yet because he only recently got this up. Has to realize that he is a little behind on the economy and can't afford to lose all of it. Hard Rain, once he really gets things going, he's going to be able to flood a lot of units in the mid game. He already has Storm. Is usually that upgrade from the Reaver tech. Like Storm hits a better area, hits shuttles better. Like Dragoons, because of how they move, it's hard to get them away from Storm. So we'll have to see what he gets done. See this DT moving out again, just being in the shadows of the map, away from all the action. This guy's a little scared, DT. He's going to walk up into another observer and die almost immediately, unfortunate, but does see that the expansion is up for Least. So Hard Rain has an idea what's going on. If you didn't see this expansion, you got to really prepare for some kind of attack. So at least you see that Least isn't like trying to all in you now. But like look at this unit count from Hard Rain, almost a full group plus a couple Templars compared to what we have here from Least. Less Dragoons, has the Reaver but no shuttle to micro it or anything. And we see Hard Rain getting the Zealot like upgrade and getting some weapons. If you can actually afford the time to get Zealot legs online, it's really good for fighting these Dragoons. Like slow Zealots just get kited in our meat shields, but fast Zealots get in there and punch some freaking Dragoon legs. At least it added a lot of gateways, really committing to 2 bases. If you want to take a 3rd base, I think you don't add that many gateways so quickly. Although, that being said, as the probe moving into a 3rd base location, really just delaying the expansion by doing that. We see he's got the 2 Reavers really gearing up for the defense first. He's going to get the shuttle afterwards. And he's starting to work his way towards his own Templar tech as well. You see Hard Rain, a grip of Zealots at a time. Got enough Dragoons to really get things going. If he's once speed's finished, these Zealots are going to be getting in there and really causing trouble. But he's got to be careful about how he groups stuff up. 2 Reavers are going to melt through Zealots if they're all clumped together, walking towards before they even get anything done. Although with him having some Templars in the mix, and they have plenty of energy for Storms. like this right here, like if the units are closed off in this area right here, you throw a storm, it's going to do so much damage to everything. Especially since storm, you throw a storm on the shuttle, it's either going to damage the shuttle, the Reaver, or both, depending on where they are in the micro. The hard rain, being careful with his army movement, not trying to force his way across the bridges. That's an easy way to lose your stuff. So going the safer way, so he can engage this fight a little bit better. So we'll see how this fight goes if he wants to engage it. The supply counts are pretty similar, but a pretty heavy tech advantage for hard rain. So many storms hitting so much stuff. Lots of damage being done. These zealots getting in and really mowing through that front line. You can see that shuttle, there's no Reavers in it. He lost lots of stuff. Don't know if he has any more, but he's gonna be warfing Archon. And it looks like he does still have a Dragoon advantage, so he can really start pushing forward. But since he does have all these Zealots and Zealot Lights, he could be reinforcing this, but not reinforcing the fight. I think he's got to realize if he doesn't reinforce, Lise is going to eventually outnumber him. He's going to just lose all of his Dragoons. He needs to back out now. I think he did do significant damage, but I'm not sure who got the better end of it. Looking at the supplies, I would say Hard Rain got a little bit ahead because he just traded a couple more units his direction, and he has his economy up for longer. But like, you lost all your Templars, he lost all of his Reavers. Like, everyone's losing Dragoons and stuff. It's not like there was a really clear favorite, I think, but Hard Rain did get a little bit better of the advantage. And you can see he's starting to move out to the middle of the map again, prepping her for that next attack. Going mainly Zealots, adding in a couple Dragoons. I mean, speed Zealots are definitely really good because the Dragoons don't do full damage to them. So if you get them and they can't get kited, they can definitely get in there and get some stuff done. If you keep resetting the Reaver count, he has to make that choice if he wants to keep building them. So once he stops building them, these Zealots become way more effective fighting these Dragoons. Playing a Templar on the way, we got ground weapons, so he already has that +1 done, going straight for that +2. You got nothing from upgrade wise from Lise. Upgrades not being terribly important in this matchup. It helps a lot with the Zealots more than anything else. With Dragoons, the upgrades aren't like really critical. That's 2 damage, so like that'll get through like a shield regeneration. I think you can kill like a shuttle in 1 less hit. Like, it's nothing major, but you can see like he's really just filling this out with some pretty core gateway units. But Lise doing the same, except he's got a lot more Dragoons, so as everything walks in, he's gonna have to fight his way through that giant wave of things. He's moving on to the middle of the map. Hopefully he doesn't engage his army separated like this, and at least starting to get better concave. And there's some good storms from Hard Rain, but he at least definitely looks like he has a big unit advantage here. But Hard Rain is starting to reinforce this, fighting his way through. Storm's doing pretty significant damage, but at this point here, looks like they have pretty similar counts of Dragoons. Got like Zealous just standing here watching, doing nothing. That's causing a big problem, but these Speed Zealots got around the backside fighting these Dragoons. At least has his own Speed Zealots, so both players on 2 bases with plenty of oh no. These with the good reactions though to stop most of that damage. Very impressive. That's the easiest way to just lose your entire base worth of economy is you see a storm drop and just instantly like that they explode. And by the time you get the alert, they're already dead. You can see both players having plenty of gateways. You got Hard Rain getting his upgrade. Both players kind of looking like they're locked into it. They don't know how they're going to get that 3rd base going. Staying on 2 base versus 2 base. Hard Rain slowly pulling ahead in the supply lead. But you can see like the main's starting to get mined out for him. And he's got plenty here at the natural, so money wise he's doing pretty good. At least not losing a lot of probes there is good. He's also going to be running out in his main soon, so players really going to have to decide, are they going to try to get that 3rd base or is one of them going to go for the killing blow? Seems like Hard Rain's committed to just keep fighting this, going very, very heavy into Zealots. Both players are not having a lot of Dragoons, but look at all these Templar from Hard Rain. That's going to be the thing that's really going to just turn the tide of this battle. All these Zealots just fighting in the storm, taking lots of damage, and you can see like that Hard Rain supply started skyrocketing. This fight went so much better for him. Lise taps out. Definitely a good series from both of our Protoss players here, but I think just Hard Rain being a little more familiar with the map. He's 1800, man. I should have had. Oh, that sucks. Oh, That's okay. Guys, yeah, Hard Rain's pretty good. I played him in the preseason. Beat my butt. Alright, and got disconnected from Balnet, so I'm gonna have to restart this. If this happens again, I'm just gonna do these all in single player. So have a little chat interaction time as we enjoy nice quiet for my 4-day weekend. I got a sweet 4-day weekend, so I'm like, I don't care that if this runs late, it runs late. That's completely fine by me. But that's one of our series down. We have 3 series tonight. There is 4 that's played each week, but one of them was a walkover. So we got 2 more heading your way. I don't know what the matchups are, who the players are, but hopefully if they're as good as these were, like these are entertaining games despite the there being a pretty decent skill difference. I like seeing variety with the openings and all that kind of stuff, so I was definitely happy with it. This one's on. I seem to be a magnet for Terran versus Terran, so see if that trend keeps happening to me. Looks like this next one is going to be NCX versus Hidden Stoic. It's looking like a Protoss versus Zerg. That's good. Good matchup. Going into this game now on cross game again. I don't know how to wall in the cross game that well. I haven't played it that much. Every time I play, it's always first Protoss and versus Terran. So as far as Zerg goes, I'm not super sure. I think there's a decent wall off you can do, so nothing too crazy. We got Hidden Stoic in the slightly later blue for the Protoss. We got NCX in the slightly more vibrant blue for the Zerg. The minimap will look like blue versus critters, apparently. That's like exactly the critters color. And we see a little bit of friendly smiles and stuff. Looking like we're here for fun. Raising a class, not a good idea in this game. It's too APM intensive. You can spill it on your keyboard, then you're in trouble. Guys, they're being freaking adorable. So let's see what these guys want to do. No proxy from the pros player. I think he's moving the probe out a little late to get the wall off though. And SX is spilling some of his thing, learning how to handle drinks in Starcraft from Endy apparently. We got the probe here, so I guess it's like you got unbuildable terrains. That's that. Like I think that's supposed to be like a good tight wall off, and then he's gonna go downward like this. I don't know. Like I think the wall I usually do is usually a pylon on the bottom and the building's going up. So I don't know how this is gonna build or what's gonna be tight. This is not an intuitive thing. If you're part of that discussion on the CPL Discord about which game's easier to wall in, this is my point right here. I have no idea how tight this wall is going to be, or what he's going to make. So, you know, my point right there. SC2 is definitely more intuitive. Now we do have from SCX, he's not going for an overpool or anything safe. He's just going for that 12 hatch. We'll get scouted very quickly because again, 2-player map. People apparently loving to do risky or fast expands when they know it's going to get scouted immediately. I don't get it. But seeing that 12 hatchery, that's going to be good for Hidden Stoic as long as he reacts appropriately. When you see that kind of stuff, just slam down the Nexus. No cannons, don't need any crap. But he's going to have to deal with this drone that's trying to be annoying. This is the revenge of probes blocking hatcheries. And that drone just straight up kills the freaking probe. Okay, that's fine. He's staying on another one. Reinforcements. You're going to get revenge. But really, he needs to get that Nexus up. He's already 100 minerals late, so starting to lose some of that economic advantage he could get from being a little greedier against this 12 hatchery. Get the pool on the way. No gas just yet, so let's see when he wants to get the gas. If he's going to be doing like Zerglings play, or is he going to get like a third hatchery really quickly? Well, Zerg definitely has lots of options at this point, how they want to. But we do see Stoic being aware that he's in the spot where he can be cutting corners. Doesn't get that any cans yet. Just getting a gateway and going to keep getting his macro up. Doesn't have a second pylon yet. That should, or I think, want to get that a little earlier, already in the base, so you can start work on that cyber core. Because you're going to need to get some kind of tech up reasonably soon so you can see what's going on. So he needs to get a gas, he needs to get a cyber core, gonna get this pylon so he doesn't get supply blocked for production. See from NCX, he's getting that third hatchery. We're going the gas to make sure he really gets his economy going. We're just getting a little bit of length. Just a little bit of length. It's be good to scout and kind of move out from the Pros player, out from this area here. Or to chase out any scouts if anything gets stuck out there. Now we see this drone somehow didn't get caught, like no one's trying to chase it down. So this murderer drone healed up to full, looking for round 2 against the probes a little later. Or he's going to turn into a proxy hatcher or something. That'd be hilarious. Let's see from Stoke. Has the gas in production. Still hasn't gotten his cyber core yet, so don't know if that's going to be a little extra delayed more than you would want to be, but he's got the economy going pretty well. Got the one cannon here. No, NCX has not made enough links to really try to bust and walk his way through. I don't know, again, don't know how tight this wall is. It looks like there's a gap there. I swear there's going to be a gap there, but I really have no idea. I do believe there's a gap here. I think you have to build it the other way to not have the gap here. Like you need the gateway on top. I'm not, like, I can't, I try. Like, this is one of the biggest hurdles I had trying to go over this, and he's really slamming all these gateways at the front, really going to be making a big meaty wall, so maybe expecting some kind of Hydralisk. But we do see that the Zerg is just going for a lair instead. No Hydra bust, no really aggressive build. I could definitely understand why you'd want to be a little careful around that kind of stuff on a map like this because of how, like, it's a inverted ramp map. You don't really want to get into it, and with it being 2 players, like you can set up a big bust here, but because there's that ramp there, it does make it a little more difficult. It's not like it's all flat ground up here. But this is really going to be showing a lot of the stuff from Stoke up at the front. Anything that runs up, get an idea of the gateway count, that kind of thing. Now we do see Stoke. He hasn't gotten a Stargate or anything. He's just going to be sending Zealots to harass, and going to get some mining off on that 3rd base. So that's a good little move with these Zealots. So I like that. We got the 2nd gas on the way. Still haven't seen a Hydralisk Den lair about to finish. So I'm thinking we're going to see some Mutalisks, which are lovely, lovely pros players saying, I don't need a Stargate. I'm going to get cannons instead. He's got this Overlord going in. Hasn't died. He's got some Dragoons. This seems a little early for Dragoons. Wants to keep putting pressure on. You know, having the Dragoons is helpful against some kind of static defense. But hasn't gotten that range yet, and this guy right here. I said that as a joke when I said proxy hatchery. Like, you're not supposed to get the proxy hatchery. But this will be interesting. This is why, like, I don't want to watch, like, I like watching lower. Like, tier 2 is like, they're good players, but it's not. Like, this, you're going to see weird stuff, and it's freaking awesome. Now we see some pressure really going through this 3rd base. We got some links, but this is definitely more units than these links can handle. And then with that one little extra Dragoon adding the extra DPS, I think it's going to shut down this 3rd base pretty good. We're going to see what the opponent's making. He's got the Spire on the way, just getting some static D. He's got these links. They don't have speed yet, though. So, I mean, he's got plenty of gas. Could get speed. And if your opponent's trying to do these little move outs with this, having speed links makes it so much easier to defend. See if he actually loses hatchery. Plenty of health left. Gonna have to commit to the fight against the links. I think he's gonna be able to clean it up with the links. Both players floating a lot of extra money. So, getting a little too focused on these little cute battles. And we got a Stargate at the natural. Everything at the natural. It's almost like he knew this was happening. And he's just like, I'm not building stuff here. But he's going into a Citadel opening. Really gonna do like some kind of nice timing attack, maybe with like some +1 speed Zealots and some Archons and things. It seems like it's a little late compared to what it should be, but got the basic idea. He's just gonna be slamming stuff down and just saying, "This, I got Protoss units, man. I can aim with these Protoss units." And this hatchery gets spotted out. This is actually hilarious. If he got away with this and got the links, but he's moving a lot of stuff away from the front. If there was like a time to attack the front and get your way through, this is just cannons. There's no units here anymore. So if you really wanted to get your way through, like, this is a good amount of links, and I don't know how tight this wall actually is. He might be able to get in there and get some stuff done. But we'd have to pull the trigger really soon. His unit's getting tied up, though, killing his hatchery. It gives him a chance to stop the harass. He's getting his 3rd base back up and running. A little bit, it looks like. Oh, do see a Stargate on the way, but we got Mutalisk in production. A supply block slowing down the Mutalisk production a bit, and he's going right for a Queen's Nest, so looking like he might want to go into an early hive kind of play. Maybe get a 4th base up, get some Isis to connect them and defend them. Got a couple mutas here, but with this many cannons and not having enough mutas, you're going to be hard pressed to actually get anything done here. But it is going to force Stoic to keep producing these Corsairs, so showing that he has to keep going for it. And we do see a lot of gateways coming out of this, looking like it's going to be a pretty strong 2-base push from this Protoss player. You see the Mutalisk count starting to grow, already up to 7, keeps producing. Going to be up to 10, maybe 11. Really making sure he has at least one full micro group. So we'll have to see if he's going to keep on Corsair production. Decided to stop, it looks like. Has 2, but this is going to be a much bigger Mutalisk than I think he realizes. Sees them and starts retreating. Hopefully it's the signal. Keep building them. You're going to need your Corsairs, man. The other thing he could be looking for is if you get Storm, that will help bruise up these Mutalisk a lot. But if you want to, you can just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna ignore your things and kill you with these Zealots. If he's got speed almost done, +1 almost done, and a ton of units on the way, these are definitely gonna mow through, because you can see like these lengths not upgraded. They're gonna die 2 hits to these Zealots. Although he is producing, I think he was producing a lot of Dragoons out of these gateways right here, so keeping them around for extra defense is too low on the Corsair count to really get it done. These cannons not the best plate move to do this, and he's just gonna, it's only really the one that's gonna hit. He's gonna be able to kill that one quickly. Dragoons are serviceable, but they do not kill Mutalisk quickly. He's gonna need Corsairs to really help with that, but it looks like he's gonna be able to get some stuff done. But you ignore the Corsairs too long, they do significant splash damage. But looking like we're really going in for the big amount of lengths. If he tries to move out and doesn't have enough stuff ready, these lengths around can kill off this Protoss army very, very quickly. The NCS really building the crap ass of mutas. Has another group of mutas on production. Sometimes you see from a Zerg player, they build that initial group and then they do what they can do, and that's like your transition to get into a mid game of Hydras or some kind of high tech units. You can go Lurkers or get the Filers for Swarm to bust cannons. But he's really going, you know what, Mutalisks are the funnest thing. I'm just going to make all the Mutalisks. Get a group over here, we got some in the army, and plenty of Lings. Not using all of his army though, so with some of the things just being hold position and getting picked off early, SCX is losing a lot more units than he needs to right now. You see right here, like he could have been really engaging this fight or avoided it with his speed lengths. These things wouldn't be able to catch up. So now he's got that decision to make. This is a scary Protoss army moving forward. And NCX is not even going to let that attack hit. He knows he can't defend it and just taps out of that game. I love seeing that I'm going to keep going Mutalisk style, but you got to really be on top of your army. You can't lose them in silly ways. It costs too much. They're too valuable. Obligatory mention of broodwall.com. That is such a great resource. I wish I was smart enough to use it. I never freaking... I never use it, but it's definitely a good one. I look at it for if I play a map and I'm like, how the hell do you want, and then I'll go from there. That was definitely cool. We got Protoss being Protoss, just building Protoss stuff, and it definitely did exactly what it needed to do. So we're gonna be going into on Fighting Spirit. This is a map that everyone should know how to wall on. Like everyone should have played this map hundreds of times by now. But we'll see how this game goes in comparison. We have Hidden Stoic in the white Protoss, in the good color. Good for him. We got NCX in the purple Protoss, or the purple Zerg. Good for him. That color looks crisp. Like perfect. That's the kind of color you want. And we're gonna see what these guys want to do. I got a little worried for a second. I saw not a probe building. I'm like, ooh, maybe something really fun. But no reason to cut probes, even if you're doing any kind of super hyper cheat. Just sent out an early probe to do your hyper cheese. Now let's see what these players want to do. If there's some kind of aggressive build this time. The 12 hatchery from NCX, he got it up nice and safe and sound. Couldn't punish Hidden Stoic's like greedier expansion though himself. So I'm curious if maybe he wants to stick with that kind of thing. Because the mid game, it looked like he had a decent plan, but Hidden Stoic had that nice little Zealot counter on the third base. And had that good mid-game push. Looks like he's really going to be content on 2 bases, so maybe doing something else to throw Stoke off his rhythm would be a good way to go. Now we see a pylon in the main for a Protoss player. That is... That's interesting. I think this is going to be some pretty dope 2-gate Zealot play, because what else would you be doing? But even that, wouldn't you build that as a wall? Like, this is... I don't know what Hidden Stoke's doing, but we'll see how it works. And we see NCX getting that early pull this time, not a 12 hatch, so maybe Hidden Stoke playing a little too much into the mind games to be like, I know what my opponent wants to do. And he's getting early gas. He's not getting that second gateway, so I'm not sure. Like, this looks like a normal kind of build if you're playing a different matchup. Or maybe he watched that Snow, I think it was Snow versus Loki? Loki on the whiteout with the 1-base Reaver. That was insane. That game was completely insane. I don't think he's going to be doing that here, because one, this map's not really meant for that. But he's seeing the early pool. He sees Lings on the way. So, we gotta see how does Hidden Stoke react to this. Without having walls, these Lings are really definitely going to keep these Zealots back. No. Unfortunately, NCX did get super lucky with that early Overlord. And he didn't stop it at the natural. He did keep going all the way to the main. So he sees where he started. He sees no wall. And we're going to see what the NCX want to do. And he says, I'm sending links. I'm just sending the links. Let's go. Looks like he is splitting them out for some kind of proxy scouting, which is not a bad idea here. If you see your opponent doing not a wall, doing something really weird, maybe scout around. I'm hoping this is not the scout for his starting location, but more to scout that, like, if there was some kind of proxy building somewhere. Try to break up this ramp with the probes and the Zealot here. Not the greatest idea, because 2 hits from the Zealot and a single hit from the probe kills a leg faster. So, and 4 legs versus 1 Zealot's kind of like the even exchange about as far as like unit strength. So fighting with the probes there, but now we got some length in here. Going right for a Dragoon instead of a Zealot, and that's not going to help against these lengths. I don't know what this opening was from Stoic. He's trying something a little too creative and getting cute, but now you can't get cute if you don't have economy. I can't see how Stoic's going to get out of this one anytime soon. NCX just realizing that you could see this little stream. He's going, I bet Lings kill you. It just makes Lings. He gets it. He understands how to play Zerg properly. This is full on balance. Look at these tier 1 units. They're so good. And they're just mowing through everything. So trying to be a little creative, a little too creative maybe, and gets punished for it. I'm glad to see that. You always want to be trying the wall, I think. 1-base play is difficult. It's tricky for sure. So that was our fun game 2. Going into game 3, we'll see if Hidden Stoke commits that 1-base style. I'll personally say I hope not. I want to see something a little more standard. Maybe just didn't want to play in Fighting Spirit. So you never know what these players are thinking. But we're going to be going into that game 3 on Circuit Breakers, and we'll see how this one goes. Oh, got NCX getting purple Zerg again. We got Hidden Stoke questioning why he's a goat in brown. Maybe he got a goat color. He was again white and brown. If you turn blue, it's not a goat. There's no blue goats. But I don't know. Oh, these guys are fun. I wonder if they have some kind of history together, or just practice with each other. It's always fun to see when you see CPL players that aren't on the same team, but they go still like have some kind of history, maybe from a previous season, or if they were on teams before, or they just practice with each other in a ladder, stuff like that. But we'll have to see what these players want to do this time. This is Circuit Breakers. This map definitely usually gets you some macro games. I like this for Zerg a lot better than Protoss though, because I think Zerg controls the open space a lot better. Like, it's easy for them to control the ramp, like these bridges. You get good concaves with Hydralisks. There's plenty of open area to move, like Hydralisk busts and stuff, if you want to be aggressive. Or you can get your bases up so quickly at 2 mains, and with the way the ground's laid out, I think it's easy to defend. It could be hard for us to move through these allergies, move through the bridges and stuff. So let's see what these players want to do. We do see a more traditional wall this time from Stoic, learning his lesson very quickly to not try anything too. Maybe he got yelled at by his coach in between. I'm like, what are you doing? But going for a standard forward expand, wants to get that economy up as fast as possible. And on a macro map like this, that's exactly what you probably want to be doing. But gonna luckily get that first scout. He's gonna see this early pool. He's gonna see how many lanes get made. And this time, can't go Nexus first. Need to get some cans, but he should look to see how many lanes spawn to know how many cans he needs. Or at least how many larvae morph for lanes. You can see he already getting one. Now, if he only gets 4 lanes, the one is going to be enough. Otherwise, he needs to add a second one. But he needs to keep that probe in there. Right now, he's moving down. He's going to try to block the expansion. You can see NCX fully aware, brings down 2 drones to make sure this doesn't happen for too long. Use 1 to harass the probe, 1 to get the hatchery down. And that helps you get that secure a lot better. As you can see, that probe didn't get the block there for very long at all. And the probe walking out of the base, don't like this. I like you going back in the base, scout how many lings he makes. It's important. You can see right here, he's not really building lings, he's going drones. So if you think you have to be more defensive than you do building cannons, like this is a free way for NCX to get some advantage for no reason at all, just because you didn't want to go back and scout. It's slow lings, they're not going to catch your probe if you're careful, but that's an important thing. Like, the big reason you get the advantage from this kind of forge expand is you've got to cut as many corners as you can. Be on like that edge of death, but don't die. And hitting Stoic, giving a little heart as he kills an Overlord. NCX not going to be feeling good about that supply block at all. But we do see 3 hatcheries being made. The third one is in the base, not at another expansion. So I'm wondering if this is going to be some kind of Hydraless bust. Got the gas here. Not mining from it yet. Now, he does need some decent money for this, but if he wants to just be aggressive and try to bust this front with 3-hatch Hydra, we'll see him not go for a lair. We'll see the early Hydra instead. Just really rely on the amount of larvae that not a build that has to be an all-in. It depends on how much you commit to it. And we do see from Stoic, he is, again, putting like all of his buildings in this wall, really making a meaty ass wall. Which I guess might be good to slow down something like a Hydraless bust, but it doesn't leave all your buildings open and vulnerable. Like, it's not like you can lose anything in front and be like, alright, I sacked on that, I'm going to go back to my main. If you lose all the stuff in your front, you're totally dead. So I'm not sure if I like this better, like, than building like the Cybercore here. Like, I would figure, if anything, you like maybe the extra gateways here, have a second cannon, something like that. You see NCX with some lings moving forward. 6 lings. Without speed, I don't know if you would want to try to engage this, but he's got 1 block here, but I think you can get through there if you want it. He sees an extra cannon being made, second gas on the way for the Bros player here. And we see his lings. More lings being made, getting engaged on that first Zealot, so if he wants to try to fight this, if he can bait this Zealot into coming out, and he's just going to try to walk through, he can actually fight this cannon. It'll die very quickly to the lings. So one cannon goes down. Second one's not going to complete. Zealot's still trying to protect the wall, but there's already a hole down here. So see these lings going to be fighting this Zealot, but you got more lings on the way. But they're not moving forward, not really being aggressive. They're in production. I don't see any Hydraless den or anything yet, so he's not looking for a big bust. But he's seeing he's got a big chance with these lings to get some damage done. Keeps attacking in. If he can kill off these pylons, then he's getting unpowered and no more reinforcing units. See a Stargate being made there, but he needs to deal with these lings. That Stargate is not going to be helpful at all. Taking lots of damage here. The pylons go down. This gateway is now unpowered. He's going to get no units reinforces. I don't think probes are strong to fight these lings. And Hidden Stoic does not get out of this one. NCX showing that lings are good. They're good. Like, they get you wins, apparently. So, good for them. Got a nice 2-1 again. And we get some more interesting matches. Definitely want to see stoic, work on scouting out those early units to know how many cannons he needs to make. Had that second one in production, but I feel like too late. If you had that early probe, seeing how many lanes were getting made, you would have known, oh, I'm in danger. You know, that like that Ralph Wiggum meme? He was in danger and did not respect how much they could do. But that's completely fine. We're going to have to see where we go from here. Got a third set going in. And guess what? It's the Goon Squad, and it's another Protoss. Who knew? This time it's Protoss versus Terran. So if you're looking for, I want to see a bunch of games on every matchup that Protoss is involved in, this was the set for you to watch. So we got Protoss versus Terran this time. We got Y2 Kid in the Protoss with that like lighter, slightly faded blue. And we got Tepa in the white Terran. I think I've casted games from these players before, but I don't remember a lot of particular details. But anytime you're watching Tier 2, I'm still expecting reasonably standard builds, reasonably standard mechanics, but there's definitely room for the players to show where they maybe have a couple issues, but also where they have that extra skill to really outplay them. Let's see what these players want to do. Two-player map across game with the inverted ramp. I definitely like doing 2 Gateway Dragoon early, really getting control. If you can get control of this upper ramp, it's so hard to turn and move up it. Vultures don't do enough. And if you have that miss chance on tanks, like you could definitely stop that expansion for a while. Actually, usually see Terran players wall off on this map here, and I actually agree with that. I think that makes a lot of sense. Tepa is saying, I don't need the wall off here, it doesn't want to. As far as the Terra player, this is again 2-player map, inverted ramp. If they want to do something like a 2 factory or like a strong FD push or anything like that, I agree with that kind of stuff too. I think this is the kind of map that you should put your opponent into some pressure. Doesn't have to be like an all-in, doesn't have to be anything crazy, but this is not the map I want to like CC first on. I want to put my opponent under pressure. Just, if I can get control of that natural, I got a big advantage and I can lead from there. And if I can't, well, I just want to get them back, and then I can expand behind it, but I want to get the pressure on first, and go on, see how it does, and go on from there. But we don't see anything too unusual yet. We do have the gas in the barracks, so it won't be a gas as expected from the Terran player. But we're going to be looking to see when does he take guys out of his gas. That'll signal if he wants that early expansion, or maybe he wants that second factory. Protoss player, haven't seen anything unusual yet. You got a gate, you got some gas. Here's the Cyber Core. Didn't even have to click on to know that was a Cyber Core. This is like, in this matchup, you will always see this because you need these buildings. You need your Cyber Core. You need your Goon production. You need them back. Like, you're always gonna see this kind of opening if it's not a Nexus first. There's no weird wall offs, nothing, no real like changes early on. The big thing we're looking for is, do they add a second gate, and when did they add it? So you can add it really early if you really want to put the pressure on. You can add it a little more economical, like that'll be capping in a little bit, because then that second gateway, you're not like cutting probes to get it, you're getting your range up really quickly, but you're still getting 2 gateways of production. Now we see from the Terran player, guys are not in the gas anymore, but we do have a factory on the way. That's gonna get him the factory. He's gonna start being able to make vultures, but he pulled all the guys from gas. You usually leave just the one. You get 2 of them back out, get some extra minerals, so you can get that extra expansion. But you want to keep building a little bit of gas, so that way you can eventually get a machine shop, and then you can turn it back on later for start your siege tank production. But taking them all out, now he's not going to be able to get the machine shop. No upgrades for vultures, just vultures. So I don't know how I feel about that particularly. And we do see the Terran player, like I was saying, really going to be supporting this with a wall, floating his barracks in position, having the bunker there. Doesn't have a lot of units for it yet. Well, let's see if he keeps producing barracks. Deciding he wants to put that somewhere else to really actually help the wall, and it wants to keep making Marines to fill up this bunker. It looks like he does. Now, from the Protoss player, we do just see 1 gate getting range. Looking like this is going to be an early expansion from the Protoss player. Not trying to put any pressure on, just wants to get that expansion up safely. He will have the deal with something like this. Now he does, the Terran player puts all the guys back in gas, starts getting that machine shop up, and starting to build here. It's just a supply depot. Let's see when they want to add that next factory, if they're going to start vulture production or siege tanks. It'll give us a better idea of what their plan is a little bit there. So we do see early robotics, so it's still going to be one gateway, constant production, but we're going to be getting early robotics. Observer is so huge in this matchup, obviously for clearing spider mines, but you really want to see like what your Terran opponent is doing, get an idea of when you have to be prepared. Are they getting a lot of factories, or are they skimping? Are they trying to take a third base? Are they getting armories? Like, that's all really important information, and without observers, you're never going to find that out anymore. Once this is set up and there's like a tank behind it, you're not getting into that base on the ground. But we do see these Dragoons across the map. They're going to try to put pressure on. They are going to be, if they're going to be outside this bunker, they're going to be outside of the high ground ramp, so they're going to be having this chance to deal with it as well. They can definitely put pressure on, but it's not going to be like the same as a flat path. Now this Vulture gets through, and it's actually going to get some really good scouting information off seeing 3 gateways and the robotics, but it's getting some pretty good damage on these probes. Nothing here to really defend it and actually stop it. We got Dragoon in production, but not really close to done. The other Dragoon's coming back, but you can see this Vulture, it's just getting kill after kill. This is the best 75 minerals I've ever seen spent in the other game. It doesn't even have upgrades, doesn't need it. His upgrade is killing 7 probes. That's unbelievable. What a big advantage for our Terran player. You see that siege tank up at the front. We got the expansion up for the Terran player. And he is going starport and immediately going Wraith. He saw the robotics, so I think maybe just preemptively getting the Wraith to deal with a potential shuttle. But the shuttle's not on the way. This is just for an early observer, especially. I don't think he saw the observatory while the Vulture was still in there. It might have been delayed, so he might just be a little aggressive, just making sure he's safe for later. And he's getting that starport, so looking like maybe we're going to see some fun dropship play. If that's true, I'm going to root for this Terran player because I love aggressive Terrans. Like, we get it. You can get 2-1 upgrades. You can get a max army. You know how to move slowly. I'm very proud of you. But when I see dropships, I see Vulture run-bys. I mean, I don't want to play against it, but I like watching it. And we see this Wraith coming out. He's looking for the shuttle. Doesn't see it, so he's just going to kill a couple probes too. Why not? Now, he's not going to do it quite as well as a Vulture, but he might get 1 or 2. Now, he got to be careful not to lose 2 of these Dragoons. He's 1 hit away from death. So, definitely got to be careful with the Wraith. It's good anti-shuttle tech, but it does die almost immediately. Academy on the way. We're going to be able to get comms that going on, so that'll be good for the Terran player to really scout what's going on. You can see him. He's already adding a missile turret there. That's, again, I think he's really preparing for some kind of Reaver drop, but like even building a turret there doesn't really help against the Reaver drop. But we do see the Pros player getting their 3rd base up right now. If your Terran player has that expansion, you know you're not going to break them, start getting that expansion. So him taking that 3rd base now, knowing he's not going to get any real pressure on immediately, not going to get any big damage done. I like this to try to keep going with this. We do see Zibe floating around, trying to just maybe see some kind of army movement. Because you got these paths, remember, you go straight through the middle or around each way to go through bigger areas that have some high ground advantage. Got the dropship on the way. Need to see, we got Vulture movement and Vulture mines being researched. So if he starts building a couple of Vultures, throw them in that dropship, they could really wreak havoc if Cross player is not ready for it. Although he does see this one observer, but doesn't keep going inward, doesn't want to get an idea of what's going on in the main. That's what you really want to be seeing though. How many factories, how many have add-ons? See this dropship, like he'd be fully ready for everything if he just beelined an observer and really got an idea what's going on. You can see he's moving out, I guess checking for another expansion, but not really something you see a lot of Terrans do. But I'm never gonna be mad at a player scouting for expansions in the mid. I love seeing that kind of deal with a control player. You can see him starting to transfer some of these guys down to this 3rd base. You have a bit of a path to go, but they're not in any. For coming back to see what's going on with this Terran army that's starting to move out and establish itself a little bit out. I think he wants to try to take this mineral only bit. Now we got the dropship over here, throwing in some Vultures. The observer just sees it, but we'll have to see, is the Pros player paying attention? How is he going to react? Now remember, he does have that Wraith with him, so if he does see an observer really scout this out, he could scan and kill it with the Wraith. That's just chilling up here waiting for something to happen. We do see the Protoss player pushing in. This is not enough Dragoons to really get anything done, so he's starting to sweep mines, but the moment he takes one of these siege tank stops, he needs to back off. And we see this dropship heading back. That's unfortunate. I don't think you want to be heading back here. Like, this isn't putting any pressure on where you should be concerned. Like, you're... Oh no! Oh, that's terrible. All that advantage he got early from killing those probes, I think he just donated that back when that dropship died. That's unfortunate. Maybe just having a miss hotkey and didn't realize the dropship was going to be coming back as well, or back with his unit. I mean, there's so much to do in this game. It's when something like that happens and it's lost in this silly way. It looks silly looking from the outside, but we've all played. We've all been in hectic spots. You never know exactly what's going on there. See, I don't think this is going to be enough to press through, though. We got the tanks in a pretty good position. He did clear out the mines, but you can see like this building's going to get in the way a bit. He's actually even repairing the engineering bay. But we do have the Protoss player moving up here. Maybe wants to try to pressure, see if he can find a spot where the tanks aren't there. But these tanks are definitely spread out pretty far from each other, so like one mine drag isn't going to do anything. But they're like, there's not going to be one particularly good angle. You see this base getting saturated, being a little lax on the pro production, but you know, keeping on top of it the best it can. We got plenty of upgrades, or plenty of gateways here. Doesn't seem to be rushing for any +1 stuff or any kind of Templar tech, so just starting to get his tech online. Meanwhile, the Terran player already about to finish their +1 weapons. Let's see if we can see a science facility. I don't see one. So, oh no, we do have one. It gotta be underneath one of the panels. He is researching shockwave, so he's definitely got something there. It looks like Terran wants to take this through. Although he doesn't have any actual control of this, so this big-ass Protoss army, it just wants to walk up here. Like, you gotta cancel this command center. You ain't gonna get this. Although it does get these units into a spot where it's gonna be hard to escape. Need to cancel it. Need to cancel it! Oh my god, bro, that's giving him mercy, not killing it. Does get the kill before the cancel, give him extra time. Unfortunate. We got a ton of tanks, so these Dragoons are going to be very hard pressed to actually move out of this area without all dying, so that's going to be cleaned up very quickly. Although he did move most of this away. If there was going to be any time to try to do something here, that would have been the time. There's only a couple tanks here now. No mines are really to deter your move. You could walk up and kill. But Wise Kid missing his opportunity there to really work with that. Now we do see Templar Archive, Stargate, looking like we're going to be getting some Arbiter tech. Love Arbiter tech, just in general, but especially on maps like this. You got plenty of these like unwalkable ridges everywhere. You got plenty of spots where it's like if you can get your Arbiter in here, you can recall one of these, recall into the main. It's hard to get a turret running around here that actually covers everything. So definitely like going Arbiters in this kind of play. And he saw the Terran trying to take a third, so you know he's not gearing out for some massive push immediately, so you don't have to be super defensive. Wonder when the Protoss does want to start taking that fourth base, because he saw that this mineral is already up. Terran usually does need to be worried more about gas than minerals, but a base is a base. So you do see the Protoss player starting to take this fourth. Not sure if I like this fourth, because you're moving towards where the Terran's starting to expand, so you're going to kind of collide forces there. Maybe expanding onto this side away from where Terran's trying to push through, because he's going to have his army moving up anywhere to defend that third. Or the gas third, the fourth base, I should say. You see plenty of gateways being added on, really gearing up for this big swell of units in the mid-game Protoss. Doesn't look like he's going to be immediately going for that fourth base, just really gearing up for a big mid-game push while with Arbiters. Storm being researched in +1. Got this Nexus on the way with plenty of pylons there. I think this is supposed to be some kind of pylon wall, but it doesn't look particularly great at the moment. Once we get Arbiters on the way, you got the building done, don't see any in production though. Definitely want to get those because they need energy. You got to give them time. You see from the Terran player that he's getting his 2-1s on the way, getting science vessel for that detection, and you know, for like EMP and stuff. So Terran's starting to push out, really asserting himself on the map a bit. And you can see this is exactly what I was talking about. He's moving towards his top side to protect his new bases. So this base is going to be in danger, especially with low ground. You can just park a tank or two here. You don't even have to go crazy defending that. That will just eventually die. Terran player gets up the ramp into the high ground area. If Terran gets good control of this high ground area and forces the Protoss to move down this ramp, this is super hard to break, and at that point Protoss should probably be looking to go around instead. And we see these tanks starting to shell into the expansions. So that's not going to be long for this world. We'll see if the Protoss wants to try to do some kind of fight to attack it. But this many tanks and this many vultures, this is not going to be enough to do it. But now that the Dragoons are here, maybe. Got a shuttle here, but with nothing in it, just looks intimidating. Don't know if we do have an observer to detect these mines, but these tanks are definitely busy out in the back. These vultures aren't going to be enough to really dissuade this. Vladimir doesn't want to keep pushing forward, deciding to move around and abuse the fact that this Terran army is kind of immobile and has to really spots. Going to be swinging around here, see if he can take a poke over here, which you can see with Terran moving out so aggressively here, there's no defense here. This might actually get into some kind of base trade situation. Terran sees there's not a lot of defense here and no army out there. He needs to assume that Protoss is moving out somewhere else. So 2-1 push for Terran is just about to finish. He's not waiting for max, but he's going to definitely be able to get some damage done. Protoss cutting through the middle of the map, getting a couple reinforcements, so Terran sees exactly where Protoss is, how they want to react. They're moving in there, they're going to be pushing into that natural base. So let's see what's going on here. I don't think there's enough to do it, but all these tanks are just kind of moving. They're not really getting like, finally sieging up these back lines, but there's a lot of stuff while he's waiting for that to happen. All this stuff's going to get collapsed on by the Protoss army, and I think cleaned up very, very easily. This is a really bad spot for the Terran after losing this much army. You can see like only got like mines here now, but lost a big portion of his tanks. He had a supply lead before that fight. Now Protoss lost almost nothing, but a million tanks just got killed. Big reset there. He finally did this CC up, but it's not even mining yet. He has a couple tanks ready to defend. So Protoss can really start pushing on the map, secure that fourth base or wherever he's looking to go. And now that he has arbiters, if he makes them and starts, he can really start picking apart this Terran player, who now has to be very, very defensive. See a bunch of zealots up here looking like they're going to try to walk through while he's pressuring with his Dragoons here. Not sure if he wants to go into this main base or just try to punch that third again. You can see big Dragoon army here. Looking like he might want to try to flank through, get some stuff done. Just vultures and mines here. If he gets an observer, he can start really clearing that away as well. Has to be careful not to go too far. Don't want to lose the stuff to tanks for free. If you keep your stuff here, you can't move the tanks away, so that does keep them honest. But you want to be really trying to use this start of the army and forward. It's a good science facility there. Very fortunate. Has the observer to see what's going on. He sees a bunch of vultures and just a couple tanks. Moving through this little tight ridge and taking some free tank shots will be difficult. So I think this you might be waiting for armor straight, or just sending a ton of zealots to go through instead. So they'll be able to go up there and kill that tank line and force the Terran to move out of position and that third. Let's see what the player wants to do. Looks like he sent probes over to his base, but just a little bit too early. So they're taking the minerals back home the long way. Got the arbiter done, but it needs some energy before we can do anything useful. We just see recall about to be finished in the assume state. Plenty of upgrades being made for both players. 3-2 will be done for Terran reasonably soon. We're about halfway there on that. Got plenty of tanks and Goliaths in production. Not really vultures, not trying to get mines for map control anymore at this point. I think realizing after he lost that, just he's looking for that more secure army. Especially having Goliaths does help against something like an arbiter. Off while you're see this base is finally online. Looks like he's going to be able to keep that money going. And he's starting to take another base down here at the south part, which is very hard for Terran to actually push into. Got plenty of army here to defend it, and a big force here. Waiting to see how Protoss wants to move. Now max, so don't know if he wants to just wait just for the arbiter ability, or if he wants to be going soon, so that way he's using the most he's going to get out of the supply lead. Right now he was about 50, and Terran's going to have time to catch up, so let's see what does the Protoss want. Did get a big advantage killing tanks earlier, but doesn't really want to keep pushing his way through. Big amount of vultures running through. Like they want to try to get something done. Not sure if it's going to be for mines or some kind of big counterattack just to peel the Protoss army back. If I saw a bunch of these vultures, you can't ignore them though. They're going to mow through these bases. Like one can is not going to be enough. There has been some pylon walls to help slow down the movement. You can see walking into this national, they're going to kill all these probes without problem. Protoss has to peel back to defend this. So that buys Terran the time to keep producing their units, but also it moves the Protoss out of position, and maybe he can re-establish that with the mines up this. Vultures are going to get cleaned up, but they do kill a lot of the probes from this base. I mean, not that there's a ton of minerals left, but there's still enough where you don't want to lose those probes. There's still a couple hundred per patch. But we do see other bases in line. This one having no saturation though, problem. And the pro from here are already gone. They got transferred to. So there's gonna be a little bit online before this one really makes significant. We see Protoss moving out. We see a bunch of scans trying to see where this army is for the Protoss player. We got a couple arbiters with plenty of energy, so if he wants to engage this fight, he definitely can. It looks like that science system is moving forward, trying to EMP these two arbiters, which would have been juicy to kill off all that armor or all that energy, but doesn't get there in time. The Dragoons being very active or to kill that before that EMP off. You see Terran getting to bleed out and really control this space a little bit, so he doesn't have to worry so much about that pressure that the Protoss player is having. See these armies in spots, but just kind of controlling what he needs to do. But he does have this arbiter on the way out here, staying on to the outsides. Plenty of turrets here though, so needs to be careful. If he's going to recall in there, it's probably going to be a suicide. But there's already a recall in the main base. Mine's in a lot of spots, but does still get a good amount of units to actually sit down. Looks like if he stays patient, he should be able to kill off all this production without too much problem. So you see Terran going out of position to really defend this. Once he sees how many units are being pushed back to actually defend this is exactly the signal the Protoss player needs. Maybe try to push into something else as well. You got that arbiter at the top left corner looking like he wants to pressure into the third. But the unit's kind of either doing nothing like these zealots or not focus firing. I would love to see him just focus fire into some of these factories, get some down. Instead, gets the CC, but there's no minerals left anyway. It just kind of weakens a lot of these buildings. Doesn't actually kill anything super significant. You see the Protoss player moving into that mineral third. But there's almost nothing here to defend it, so going to be able to get some stuff done, but I don't think he's going to be able to fully clear it out. These tanks sieging up, going to be able to do some big damage on his Dragoons. Need to either retreat or commit to the fight. Loses half his army on that volley. Looks like all this Protoss unit is going to be cleaned up pretty quick. You still see a couple zealots down there, but gets cleaned up from the vulture production that was there. And you see some trading of resources there. Both players losing a bit of stuff, but nothing crazy significant. You see the Terran player has plenty of banks to not be too. If he lost the factories, that would have been a problem because that would have been actually time rather than money. But we see another recall at this third base. See how this one goes. It's a lot of zealots, and they're going to be able to kill off these tanks. And with this just being a single thin ramp, this will definitely be a lot harder for anyone to get up to and defend. So all this stuff should go down. I don't know about that storm to try to get on the science vessels, but storm on the workers does a lot of work. If he saved the energy, he could have stormed these tanks. See if these zealots want to move down in place, or if he's just going to try to suicide and kill the stuff here. A couple zealots, and look how good they are against siege tanks. Just punching tanks to death. It's the kind of stuff you just don't see. Like, you see it in this game, but it makes no sense. How are you going to punch a tank to death? That recall definitely did a lot more damage than the one in the base. It shuts down this mine base very effectively, and you can see this natural is run out for the Terran player. This one's a mineral only, so if you shut this down, there's no gas income for the Terran player at all right now. You see, that's 1108, so he isn't spending it, but he isn't gaining a lot either. So he's just going to be getting that one up. But the Terran player needs to be looking to get another base on the line somewhere. Still has plenty of money though, so not in a particular worry just yet, but don't want to end up bleeding through out that next step here. Protoss player keeps producing other gateways, trying to move out to the map, but now Terran's trying to take control of this high ground again. this base is at risk. This is like one of the best mining bases that Pros has right now, so he needs to try to stop this from going down, but these tanks are going to shell this down pretty quickly. See how the Pros player wants to react. See, this one's starting to get online, but not very significant. This one's about to mine out, and same with the natural here, Pros player. Pros player moving through, clearing out some of these mines. He's going to try to surround this army here. If he can close off and kill all this stuff, he's going to get a very significant supply lead. That Arbiter here doesn't go down. The Goliath needs a couple more shots to be able to kill that. Clears up all these tanks. And he's going to be able to defend this base without losing anything too significant. Some pylons really, and cannons really. And now he's got control of this high ground again. He needs to keep reinforcing it. Terran clearly focusing on this area and wants to stop this base from happening. Keep pushing forward. Maybe the Terran can take this base. We finally got the mineral natural being taken for the Pros player. Hasn't saturated it yet though. But definitely want minerals for Pros player. Zealots are pretty expensive here, so getting that base up and getting saturated is going to be very helpful for the army. Has plenty of units just being rallied here, so wanted to keep reinforcing this, I think, and Terran player realizing he just doesn't have that next step and taps out. Also, I guess there was another recall here. Lots of stuff going on this map. Once this game got into that mid game, definitely got exciting. So, going into game 2 between these two players, that first one was exciting and a nice long macro game. Some of these other games we've not quite as significant. So, let's see how it game. Next one as well. We got Fighting Spirit. If there's like these next two maps, if they go to a game 3, Fighting Spirit and Circuit Breakers, nothing says Terran macro like those maps. It's so easy to defend their bases. They can just wait for that late game army. They don't have to go crazy or do insane. So let's see what these players want to do. We got our Terran player in the orange up in the top right. We got our Pros player in purple in the bottom right. So we'll have to see what's players want to do again. I think both of them made good moves early on. That one Vulture getting a lot of damage, and I think the dropship Vulture play was gonna be good. Just I don't know what happened with the movement there, but lost it, and that's just very unfortunate to lose that kind of like you committed to a starport, you committed to the control tower. That first dropship, and it died before anything. That really put him on the defensive, but it looked like the Terran player was really trying to control the map and be aggressive until he lost that dropship and had to stop. So I'm looking forward to see how that style works again on this one, if that's just how he plays or what he's in. No, don't see anything unusual yet. We got the pylon in the base, supply depot in the base, no proxy anything yet. So let's see what these players want to do. Hopefully a nice standard macro game again. Now we do see nothing crazy yet. We got that first gateway being made from the Pros player right on time. And we see from the Terran player, looks like didn't start barracks yet. Oh, he's just going to start near as part of the wall rather than over here by the supply depot. One of the things that you might want to consider when you're doing this kind of stuff, like this isn't going to be a significant wall to actually wall off anything immediately. And if it was something like a proxy Zealots out of a gateway on the middle of the map, not having the barracks next to the supply depot in a way where you can Marines through it, but Zealots can't fit, that makes the defense a lot harder. So like if the Pros player decides to just make one Zealot to send their cross without having the buildings in that way to help them micro through, that Zealot can be very, very annoying. Because that thing kills Marines fast. SCVs don't want to fight that either. Like Zealots, 100, they got a ton of health and they don't fuck. You see the scout here. We also see another barracks. We got one barracks at the front. That doesn't look unusual. We see this barracks though. That seems unusual. So that's cute. Curious to see what this build's going to be. If it's going to be a pure bio kind of thing. I'm guessing so because he still hasn't taken a gas, so it's not like he's getting factory anytime soon. So we see this Terran player looking like they just want to get some Marines in get some shit done instead. Definitely a different spin on this game, but definitely really instilling that this is an aggressive Terran player. Now, he sees this Marine SCV, they're blocking, scouting. I mean, blocking scouting in general is always pretty good, but like if you saw that barracks, you should have seen the barracks. That's in a weird spot. It's a little unusual. You do see the probe looking around a little bit, maybe a little suspicious. See, he's looking around, maybe something up here at the third. Doesn't find it, so he's sniffing out something suspicious, just can't find it. So the intuition's there, just not finding what he needs. So and he's putting out this Dragoon. Because this is one of the problems with in this early kind of bio stuff. These can't kill a Dragoon. If you micro this Dragoon, it'll micro forever. Outranged, take a pop shot, but you're never gonna take anything significant. Now he moves through. He sees the boys. The boys are being pulled. So this is like red flags. How does the Protoss player react? Don't know if you're gonna have time for the robotics. If you go straight for a Reaver, if Reaver pops, it will explode all of this crap. But with the boys being pulled, he sees how many boys got pulled. Like there is almost nothing mining here for the Terran player. So all he has to do is not die. I mean, easier said than done, right? But we see gateways being made. I think 3 gateways is overkill right now. You need to stop this bunker from happening. You need to pull the pros. You need to stop this bunker from going down. This bunker goes down. I mean, he's going to be able to leapfrog it, so it's not so bad. But you need to have some kind of plan. And losing a Dragoon 2 SCVs like that, that's not going to be part of your plan. Pulling the probes now, but too late. Like, if this bunker got finished, once the Marines get in, they're not going in yet, but there they are. Going to be able to kill a bunch of these probes. Now with the SCVs, they can just kind of build bunkers and really get into position. So we'll just see what's going on here. We do see this Dragoon trying to kill some reinforcements before they really get going. Look at this bunker. Like, you can't even surround this bunker. Like, stuff is going to spawn, be next to it. You're never going to be able to escape. But like, you got these gateways all here. If he kills these couple pylons, all the power is gone. No unit production. But this is definitely doing a ton of damage. Killing lots of probes, getting all that stuff done. YGK definitely smelled that though. Like he saw him looking for that proxy, but just couldn't find it in time. That's a bit of a heartbreaker. You know what? Cheese is part of the game too, so I definitely respect that choice. It's like, no, I know what I'm doing here. That was definitely an interesting style of it though. I've never seen something like that. Usually, obviously, like BBS, especially if you're going to be doing something like that. That's like you're hoping to get scouted so you can try to fake them out a little bit. But if you just did the barracks in the middle of the map, I think it might have hit a little faster and a little harder. I'm not sure. See? But we're going to see game 3. That was definitely an interesting game too. So we'll see. That's what our Terran player is trying to do. We're going into game 3 and the final game of the night between our Protoss player Y2 Kid and the Terran player Tepa, the proxy god apparently. That was unbelievable. I can't believe that worked as well as it did, but you know what? I respect it. You bring a bunch of Marines, you pull the boys, you want a bunker rush. The kind of thing that if you lose to a ladder, you'll be like, I freaking hate you. But you know, it happens. Like you can get a rush, you can proxy, you can do whatever you want to do too. So it's not like it's just exclusive to be aggressive with. No. This map cross spawns definitely gonna be more difficult to do something like that if you want to try to be that level of aggressive again. But I think that might just been I was aggressive in game 1 and it looked like I was doing great. I've really shown you that I'm aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised if you did something defensive just to get the economy up to throw his opponent off. I mean, once you're playing a longer set with somebody, you can play with that level of mind game, like step by step by step. Like I love seeing that kind of stuff. So we will have to see what our opponent wants to do here. Nothing unusual yet. No proxy gateways, no proxy racks, but apparently you can just wait on the proxy racks. So I'll reserve my judgment to find out later. No crazy early scouts though. So on a map like this, that does. And he's building that barracks at the front again. Alright, we'll see what happens. I'm keeping my eye on you, Teppa. Got a gateway, we got a gas, we'll have a cybernetics course soon enough. First player doing nothing unusual. Here's an SCV, let's see where it's going. Is it trying to scout or is it trying to build some? This time I think we're doing something else because we do see this refinery here. Looking like maybe just having this barracks built forward so that way you can lift it and start flying around it a little faster. The refinery on the way, so let's see how many gas he puts in gas and when does he take them out of gas. I definitely like going for more of a expansion based play, especially as Terran here, because you get this base here, you get your mineral there, and it's the fourth base here. Easy enough to defend that area, and once you're on that forward base economy, Protoss just hates their life. Protoss building this pylon out over here, that's definitely interesting. I don't know if it's going to be proxy to high tech, or just one of those little mind game things to throw their opponent off. Because once the SUV gets here and starts checking his base, if you're really paying attention, you look here and you go, why is there only one pylon? Maybe you start panicking a little bit. But we do have a proxy, and it is a Citadel of a Dune. So it's not proxy in a crazy spot, but he really wants to hide that tech, although absence of a second pylon here should be a tip-off that he's trying to hide something. Be ready for everything. So the big ones you're going to see is either a proxy robotics, because that early Reaver drop, or it's going to be some kind of DT play. Like, you're not going to proxy a Stargate, because scouts are never going to do it. So there's really only two choices, and it's going to, you kind of have a good answer for both. Like, if you get any kind of anti-air, that can help against the Reaver drop a bit. But the big thing, like, if you're going to get normal factory units, like Siege Tank or 2 by your minerals, you drop the Reaver, it gets shot by the tank. So really you need the protection. So I think if you're scouting this and being aware that there's something weird going on, you should be aiming to get detection. Engineering bay of some kind or something. See the Terran player going for this early expansion. Got a couple Marines, looks like they're going to try to set up that bunker just now. Really gonna wall this off and defend it. So if you get that engineering base sometime soon, put a turret by this wall, you aren't going to do it again. But Noble Archives, pretty close to completion, so you're going to have a way to go on the map and really see what's happening. Now, what would be the tip-off if you're really trying to pay attention? Scout, if you got a chance to. What's the Dragoon count at? See, there's this one, they did go out and kill that scouting SCP, so they're kind of playing in the dark at this point. But he's not making any more Dragoons. You don't see a decent amount of Dragoons, that's another signal. It's like, well, he's using the gateway for something else then, right? He is getting this expansion behind it, so just sending out the DC, maybe it does significant damage. But at the very least, the opponent has to wait for mobile detection. And this Vulture going to come down here and just in time see this. Doesn't see when this was finished, but now he knows what's on stakes. How does he react? Well, he's got an academy on the way, and he just started an engineering bay. He's gonna make sure he has that detection. Will it be up in time? Already walking across the map. So we got both buildings pretty far away. So at this point, you gotta try to get some kind of wall off here and buy yourself time to get that missile turret up. Whereas see what actually happens. Halfway across the map, getting close. We do see this Vulture being pulled back to make sure he can actually defend it, because he's going to die as Dragoon if he tries to be too aggressive here. Second DT on the way. It was scouted, so he should be knowing that there is some kind of detection. There's a wall, but not enough to actually stop this DT. He walks right on by it, so he's going to start trying to kill some stuff. Killing this SCV to stop this might have been a supply block, but he already has plenty of supply from the expansion. So he's trying to get some stuff done. He needs to be pretty on top of stopping the missile turrets from going up more than anything. Another thing you can use to stop these DTs, if you got spider mines, like the DT has to deal with those as well. You don't need like real detection to see it. The spider mines would have been enough. But we don't see spider mines on the way, but we do see a tank, so we know he has the add-on. Needs to go get it though. Trying to walk his way through here, but there's that missile turret already there. Almost gets this DT picked off. That scan though is still seeing this area. If he was being more patient with the DTs, he can keep one down here, make sure turrets don't go up the wall. And he sees that comsat. I would go for trying to kill that comsat or missile turret. He's got to get something done here. Now there's the turret, so this is a very visible DT. He's got to be careful where it walks. Take the free damage where you can. You don't have to go crazy. You can just kill this supply DP. Stay out of these missile turrets. Don't lose anything significant. You see that the Terran player has to slow play this. He has full vision of the DT here, but not enough units to actually come and test it. Now, but like if you gotta force him to do scans, you can move around and dodge scans. This missile turret getting up, this DT is gonna start losing its effectiveness of what it can really. But with the units being drawn back, if he was being more aggressive with the units from home, he can actually really start pressuring this front because you can't get a lot of stuff in time to repair this. The tanks aren't in position to defend it. He could really get some stuff done, but he's not being fully aggressive enough. Just going with just the DTs and keeping his units home to stay safe. Now, he does see this starport, so he should know something's on the way. He even stopped production, so he's like 100% aware about the starport. And we did see earlier there was that early dropship play. We'll have to see how does the Protoss player react knowing that knowledge. He does some decent damage with these DTs, but I don't know if it was quite enough to really warrant that kind of aggressiveness. I mean, now that things are situated, it's going to be 2 base, and he's going to have that mobile way to start put some pressure on without putting himself at risk. You see a decent amount of army, but again, like I would love to see pressure during this DT attack, force the tanks to be up front to defend the wall. But, I mean, he's just getting his stuff up. Want to see the Protoss taking a 3rd base though. It's still 2 base to 2 base. He did do some decent economic damage, but doesn't really have quite the lead he could have. But Fly says otherwise. It's definitely did. I think Tepa just might be thrown off, having to abandon some of his build plans to get detections faster than normal. You see him going for control tower again, so looking like he's going to go for that dropship play. And he's getting speed for the looking like he does want to go for that vulture drop again. This time we'll see if they actually leave the dropship and what kind of damage they get. But this is not hidden at all. So if nothing else, just have a couple of Dragoons, just hide them out. That way you can see what's going on. He already has the Templar done, and he did finish the starport, so he's gonna be able to go into arbiters basically at any time he's looking to do. He's starting to add on more gateways, looking like he's not going to be really looking for that next base just yet. I would love to see him get it soon, but I feel like he should have already started it by now. And he see this probe trying to kill this mine, so looks like he does want to take this base here immediately. Make sure he gets that 3rd gas online. Definitely helps with arbiter production to have that extra gas. Different Terran players starting to finally add on some extra factories. Right now the unit production has been very stifled because of how limited it is. But once he gets these extra factories online and really gets these bases up, hey, this dropship that got finished, like, I don't know what he's going to be planning to drop. He didn't have a lot of vultures. Looks like he was trying to get the upgrades. You see Terran really going for that more long-term, getting that science facility before the science vessels. I think it's also really more of the gate to get that next upgrade. But he doesn't even have the +1 though yet, so yeah. Never mind, he's getting a covert ops. Okay, we're getting covert ops, so we're getting ghosts, I guess. I would love to say it's for lockdown. It's the Arbiter. I would love to say that. Both know that's not true. So exactly what this guy wants to do. Scheming a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Got DT'd, maybe not feeling great about it, and just being like, you know what, forget it. I'm being me. You can't stop me. But he's gonna have dropships. He's gonna be getting this like ghost and all this kind of crap. I don't even know. You got the Arbiter in production, upgrades really getting kept in here, and we got recall on the way. If he was really looking around though, he knows that the Terran still isn't on that 3rd base yet. Recall is going to be very difficult here. It's so holed up right now. And you can see he is killing his comsat because he wants something and it's not lockdown. That's alright, whatever. You can see he just burnt all of his scans now because you might as well. Alright, this freaking guy. Getting his command center away, looking like he wants to take that. I would love to see stasis be. It's gonna be hard to recall into this kind of situation, I think. But I definitely want to see observers scouting this out, because if he doesn't see this coming, that might give it the chance to actually do something. But if he does see it coming, it should be relatively easy. This also does make sense on why he got the science facility. The opponent did open D2s, so having the mobile detection definitely helps to begin with, but if you're going to go for nukes anyway, you might as well bring an EMP to the party about to finish research to really do that maximum damage to buildings. So we'll have to see where this goes from here. We got a nuclear silo on the way, and we all saw that coming. We've all played Big Game Hunters and Fastest map. You know what Terrans want to do if they're building a covert ops. I do see the Terran player trying to move out. Doesn't have a lot of vultures really controlling this, just trying to deal with a couple tanks. I think those tanks could have actually died if they weren't super careful. But the pros player not really moving out with big groups of stuff. Like they got stuff over here, got stuff back here. It doesn't have anything in the main, which he did see the dropship. So you figure if there's going to be one thing you're really going to be careful of, would have had a couple Dragoon in your main to stop a vulture drop. But now you got to think. I saw the starport. I saw the hull tower. Where the hell's the unit coming from? I haven't seen that dropship do anything yet. Definitely gotta be careful. Arbiter energy upgrade going up here. Still don't have stasis yet, and the upgrades are about to finish soon. Nuclear missile in production. This is gonna take a little bit of time. I don't see the ghost anywhere yet. I am trying to find. So we got the barracks here. I don't see it producing. Got the missile. Still need the ghost. We got the armory on the way too. So it looks like this does have a next step, just a very goofy step. Maybe got a little too like, you know, there's some of those lists of games that are just like, oh, look at this cool unusual play. Boxer nuked somebody, or like you watch that Nada vs Larva game. It's like, I can do that. Like, this is why the lower level games are great. You're gonna get a great mixture between standard and goofy ass nonsense. So we'll have to see how this does though, because if you look at this, this is a very significant supply lead. So unless he like gets the nuke and kills the entire army, one nuke isn't gonna level this game out. So you see the pros player trying to be active, really control these vultures, don't let them bleed into the map and really get mines everywhere. So he just keep clearance out, not forcing his way into the next base. You see an Arbiter starting to shoot at this dropship. It ain't gonna die anytime soon. He sees the drop coming, so let's see if he brings guys over and reacts to it. Doesn't see what's in it. He sees some vultures, and dropping 3 vultures isn't like unusual. So if he did drop 3 and he didn't see the 4th, that wouldn't be like a red flag, like, oh, there's something else in there. But with no observer in the main and having no real idea, we're gonna have to see how this gets reacted to. So, got the dropship. He dropped the vultures, so they're doing their thing, but the dropship keeps going. That's kind of a signal that something is going on, and here we go. Got this ghost on the way.
Nuclear launch detected.
And we got it over here. It's looking like it's trying to kill this. Unfortunately, it totally gets scanned. It's detected by a cannon, killed by a probe, doesn't do anything. Big investment to do nothing. Building another nuke, so it never even got launched, but it did still get done. You have to waste your supply building again, lots of money, time building. So the trick is gone. It's fully aware, and if you look at the Terran army, just has not been building a real army. See, almost no vultures. We got some tanks, but this is like one good recall away from destroying an entire base. And speaking of one good recall, look at this Arbiter. Almost full energy. It could recall then stasis, almost. So it's like really ready to go in and get some stuff done. So, but you see the pros player has these multiple groups of armies, make sure they keep control of the middle of this map. That drop not doing anything. Terran player starting to move out, but this is not going to be enough to do anything significant. Only 1-0 versus 1-1 upgrades. This late into the game, this is not going to be enough to really stop the pros. Although he does lose a lot of stuff right there to some spider mines, so that's a bit unfortunate. Still, we got this backup group right here. This kind of engagement definitely could still work for the pros player if they look at this stream of reinforcements coming in. I think they're feeling completely safe about how their situation looks. Got a couple zealots moving forward, maybe looking for some mines to drag in. But we got the nuke is done being built. I don't see where Ghost is. We're gonna see what it's done. If I had anything right now, I would make sure I had a couple extra observers and observer speed and like range and stuff, because you know what's coming. You saw it already. Like you don't just try nukes once. So I would love to see him really be aggressive to find out, hey, where's another dropship on the way, something like that. But he does have this arbiter here, which is kind of a scout in some way. He's got this arbiter here, also a scout in some way. So I don't think any dropships are going to be without being caught by something. Well, let's see what's going on. Observer flies forward to catch what the army is. Sees that it's not super significant, but does loot to the Goliaths. Terror starts moving forward again. Got upgrades on the way. Nuke plating nearing completion, but +2 is very far away from being done. Loses a couple units, trying to decide if he wants to really attack this or not. Looking like he wants to back away, wait for a little more stuff before he fights this. Or he's just trying to buy time. Look at the Arbiter move in. He recalls and kills this nuke. That's just going to be sad times, and look like he's going to be a great spot to recall, stop 2 armories of upgrades, these nukes, and a base that still has plenty of minerals to go kill. Let's see how does the Terran player react. Don't see the army moving back to defend significantly, just a couple tanks. You'll see this moving forward or moving back. He's got to make a decision to do something though. Looks like he's going to move forward side. Well, if you sent some army in there, this might be my only chance to actually take you out in the field. See the recall still wreaking havoc in the base, hasn't been cleaned up yet. And we got this fight going on here. With only Dragoons, it's not going to be significantly great, but with these siege tanks not being sieged up, these Dragoons are going to be able to mow through this and kill it without a problem. As they're also clearing out this base. I'm surprised he's not really going for that nuke, but just, I don't know. Like, this is a little too weird of a build from the Terran player, I believe. This is not how you want to have your game 3 go, I don't think. But at least makes for a very entertaining game. If this is what you want to do, like, this is what you gotta do. This recall still doing massive damage to the middle. Cleans up the fight in the middle of the map. Still see a very significant supply lead for the Cross player. He even started to take this next Nexus, like, still thinking next step proper. I gotta keep my stuff going. Terran's still just trying to rally stuff across, but it's just little segments of things. There's no map control here. Once stuff gets reinforced from the Cross player. But with all the action going on, you see both players slipping on their macro. Both of them could be having a lot more units than they do. So that'd be an easy thing for either player to work on during these fights when things start getting chaotic. Make sure you keep up on your macro and actually take your expansion and keep adding up production. You could be having more gateways than that by a significant amount and be able to do out of it. Especially once you get to the game fight, you want to. So you got this little pincer group. The front's going to go down, but the stuff out of position to really defend against this. So we're going to kill a couple tanks. That next round of production will come in and clean the rest of this. I think this push, though, from the Terran player is going to be running out, and all the production gone. Terran realized they're not going to be able to climb out of it, so I admire the attempt, but it was not enough. So that was definitely an interesting final game for the night. Can't say anything about it, right? So that's going to be it for the Tier 2 cast tonight. It's Monday after the weekend. I'm going to be doing 3 for Goon Squad vs BAS, and I might be doing another Tier 3 for another series as well. That'll be announced the day of. I'm not sure exactly. Moving forward, we are nearing the end of the regular season. So hopefully we got more casters trying to get all the casts up and get most of the regular season done before playoffs really. That'd be exciting to get everyone kind of up to speed so that we properly fight for CPL playoffs. Until then, though, thank you for watching. This was got some fun games, stuff that's worth watching, especially if you're a Protoss player. Everything was Protoss, so you have something to look at in any matchup. But other